Okay guys, let's learn some scalar warm-ups and workouts which are going to improve our technical abilities and simultaneously improve our scale knowledge. Now today's exercises are going to be based on linear melodic devices. This is basically playing up or down the notes of a scale in a set number of notes at a time. These are great because it doesn't matter whether you've just learned your first C major scale or you're working on your C superlocrian scale to work on your Alan Holdsworth chops or something. And here's how they work. We're going to be using A major as our basic example today, and only the top two strings. We don't have to do all six. So the top two strings of A major. And we're going to number these notes 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to start off with these ascending threes. So we get 3 notes starting on note number 1, and 3 notes starting on number 2. All together. This exercise is fairly straightforward for the left hand. This is a great scale to use because we're using the 1-2-4 finger combination and the 1-3-4 combination, so it's great in that way. For the right hand, we've got a little bit of a challenge, I suppose, in that as long as we're alternate picking, we're starting each new group of notes on a down, then an up. Starting with a down, then with an up. Down, then an up. Of course, you can play this whole thing in the C superlocrian scale, a bit more challenging. The second exercise we've got is just descending threes. You can figure it out for yourself, I think. We're going to play downwards in 3 groups of 3 notes. Starting on 6, 5, 4, 3. Always try and come up with a little creative twist of your own when you're playing these exercises. And being as we're playing groups of 3 notes, we've been playing these so far as 2 quavers per beat, as you normally would, and that's going to give us a bit of rhythmic displacement, but try playing them as triplets. These are going to feel like triplet, 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 triplet. And in C superlocrian. You'll notice I try and play my exercises to drum backing tracks where possible, just a bit more fun, a bit more creative. Thank Guthrie Govan for that great bit of advice. But you can do these to a metronome, or if they're not handy, just play them as you are. You don't need a time reference. It's really good to have, but you don't want to be thinking, oh, I can't do my guitar exercises because I'm not in front of a computer or I'm not in front of a metronome. Wherever you are, pick them up and have a go. Ascending fours, of course, is what we're going to play next. We're going to move these up to B major. It's exactly the same finger configuration. It's moved up by 2 frets. So now we're here. It's B major, by the way, because my little finger's finishing on that B note on the 7th fret of the top string. There's a bit of a challenge for the left hand in this. When we get to the middle, we've got to hop between our 3rd finger and 4th finger here. So your 3rd and 4th fingers might be the 2 fingers you find the least communicable. They don't talk to each other quite as well as perhaps the other fingers do. That's where you want to hop over to my pure technique exercises videos to really iron out those problems. There's a bit of a right hand challenge with these 4s as well, because we're moving between inside picking and outside picking when we're crossing strings. I'll do another video on inside and outside picking at some point. But 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm picking outside the strings. I'm picking down on the B and up on the E. So between these 2 strings, outside the 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, outside the strings, but then on my next group of 4, I'm picking inside the strings, outside the strings, inside the strings. So these are going to keep switching around whether you're picking outside or inside the strings to hop from one string to another. So descending 4s, playing down 4 at a time. We spoke about rhythmic displacement, or possibly playing in triplets when we were playing our groups of 3s. Now, groups of 16 8 or multiples of 4, 8 and 16 are really good for music, or at least they're straightforward for music, because they're going to fit in nicely with our beats. We most commonly play in tempos, time signatures, which are multiples of 4, and we group our quavers and our semiquavers into little groups of 4. So a nice little creative twist on this would be to make it up to a group of 16. When I'm playing my descending 4s, 1, 2, 3, I've got 3 lots of 4. How's your maths? 3 4s are 12, right? So if we finish off with another 4 notes, that's going to make 16 notes on the way up, right? So if we play up a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I finish my 16th note, my 16th quaver or semiquaver, to start again. Of course, why not do the whole thing in C super low green, eh? Nice little musical group, fits nicely and neatly. You might not always want that. Be really creative if you can, and don't have them adding up to 16. But it's a good exercise to work on that. We're going to play our ascending 5s in C major. Up here, starting on the 5th fret, so my C's at the very top. 5 is a bit of a difficult number to get to terms with musically, but here it goes. You can see I've written this down here as being in 5/4. That just looks neat on paper. We're not going to be playing in 5/4 as commonly as we are in perhaps 4/4 or 3/4, these more common time signatures. Not to say we shouldn't be doing it, but we're most likely to come across these when we've definitely got this rhythmic displacement going on. A group of 5. Yeah, it doesn't fit into a quaver or a crotchet very nicely. So it's really the timing aspect of this exercise you might find the most challenging. And of course we can play our descending 5s as well. Try a creative twist on these 5s. Let's try and build them up to 16 again, make it a nice round bar of music. So if we've got 5 on the way down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 10. What am I going to do to make that up to say 16? We could do 2 lots of 3 going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Yeah? Putting that into the middle of a solo or a piece of lead work, it's going to sound pretty cool. Paul Gilbert's great at using odd groups of notes. He uses his number 5s in Your Daddy, Your Brother, Your Lover and Your Little Boy. Great song, and the solo's got these ripping fast groups of 5 in there. So you can play them as little groups of 5, cramming them into a beat. It can sound really creative and cool. But get creative with all these. You probably know, I'm sure you know loads of scales, right? So try any of these devices, linear melodic devices, in any scale you know. Play them in ascending 3s, play them in descending 3s, ascending 4s, descending 4s. Try other note groupings, go up to 7 notes. Your hands might want to fall off by the end of it. But yeah, try different numbers, different groups. Try them on different pairs of strings. It's up to you to really use this exercise and be creative and work on improving the scales that you want to get better at. So I hope you enjoyed those. Those are going to improve your technique, they're going to improve your scale knowledge. See you next time.